How's everybody doing? We are trying something new tonight. Can't fault me for trying something new, right? So I'll give everybody the update here in a sec. Let me just make sure I'm up.
You're on Facebook.
I'm up on Facebook.
Yep.
It's not showing me. Sorry guys, hang on. YouTube, I'm coming for you next. Hold on. La, 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 la. Turn me down. I don't want to hear me. Okay. Hi, Kathy Kirkland Quilter from Instagram. And hi, Cindy. Okay, I gotta grab YouTube. I'll explain what we're doing here in just a minute. We are changing things up today. My husband is a guy that likes change. He is constantly trying to make things better and different. Here I am. And so, all right. If you were on, oh, there's Kathy M. To book Graham what? Okay. Let me explain what's going on. I need to do this first, though. Make me smaller. There. All right. So, oh my gosh, so many people. Okay. Linda, hi sweetheart. Linda Wood from Texas. Sandy Reeves, good evening. Having a glass of wine. This is not a drinking show, Sandy. I'm just kidding. You sip away. I need to sound like I know what I'm talking about. Hi, Carolyn and Mom. Hi, Mom. Deborah, hello. Nancy from Lake Stevens and Kathy Klein from Illinois. Okay. This is what we're doing. So, I have this really fancy software that I spend a lot of money on, and it helps me have multiple cameras and be able to really give you guys a nice up-close experience with what I'm doing with the machines. Unfortunately, it only works with YouTube and Facebook. Instagram doesn't play nicely in the sandbox with anybody. They don't think they have to, which is totally fine. But I want to give my friends the best experience possible, and the way to do that is by adding more cameras and having better close-up shots, more lights, that type thing. Kind of not a bigger production, just a classier production. Not like, hi, I just popped my phone up and I'm in my living room with my Uggs. You guys can't see my Uggs, but I'm wearing my Uggs. It's business on top, pajamas on the bottom. Just kidding, I have pants on. This isn't that kind of show. Okay, anyway, so in order to do that, I need to try and grab my Instagram people and bring them over to the other platforms that work well with this software. And the suggestion was made by Reagan first and then Andy, and then I finally listened about doing a pre-show. We're going to do a pre-show on Instagram 10 minutes before I go live in an effort to try and get my YouTube friends over to the other platforms. I hope I'm not losing people, because people are like, I'm a little concerned right now that Instagram, I have people looking for me because I have a couple of handfuls of people that look for me. So it might take us all a little bit to get on the same page, but that is going to be how we move forward. So hello, Elizabeth Sowers. Thanks for joining us. Oh, I know Elizabeth. I helped you with your motor pulley the other day, and now your machine is screaming away. That's awesome. Oh, so many people I got to say hi to. All right, Miss Melanie, hi from Melanie from Mississippi. Deanne is on from North Dakota, and Missy is on from Redmond. Hello, my friend, my local friend. Kathy Lynn Timms Hager says, I thought I missed you. Having an issue with the time shift from East Texas to Washington State. Yes, I am on earlier here in Washington State. Linda says 9 degrees in Texas and going colder overnight. Yeek! And then Faye is on. Lovely Faye is back from her vacation in Mesa. Faye, did you get your block taken care of and everything situated for the quilt as you go? Okay. This week we're going to continue on the same theme of celebrating people and their accomplishments, even if it has nothing to do with sewing or featherweights. I just want this group to be a group that helps to lift each other up. I don't get to be with my friends these days. You guys don't get to be with your friends these days unless we're on camera, and I want this to be an encouraging and exciting place to come hang out a couple times a week. So with that, if you are working on the Quilt As You Go project, I would love to see everybody's progress. So if you would, for Wednesday's show, email info, I-N-F-O, at featherweightdoctor.com with your progress of your Quilt As You Go projects. I'm going to do a little slideshow with what people send me. I'm pretty excited about it. As you can see, I have gotten absolutely no further with my setting blocks. I think you guys are probably ahead of me. I need to put some time into that this week. Hello, Bridget from Rimrock, and hello, Jackie. Thanks for joining us. Faye says, yes, I'm still 4 weeks behind, but I will catch up this week. Great. All right, so if you guys have pictures for me, send me pictures to info@featherweightdoctor.com. All right. That's enough of the housekeeping. Let's get going with our list of stuff to talk about tonight. Oh, I'm supposed to have my doctor's coat on. Totally forgot that. You guys like my professional notes that I made from the Friday Sip and Sew? Everybody was reminding me what I was talking about tonight. If it doesn't make it on a piece of paper or a calendar with me, it does not happen. All right, so we are going to talk about needles first. And Ray, let's just stay with the front camera for the needles because they're small. I had one of the questions that came in over the weekend was, what kind of needles do I put in my Featherweight? So it's a little unusual, but the Featherweight actually doesn't take any special needles. This is not one of those little chain stitchers that takes the really short needles. But there are needles that they do not work well with. So I know for a fact that Schmetz, which is a needle company, makes the quilting needles, and they are made in 3 different sizes. The 7511s are the normal ones that I use for all of my piecing and quilting, but if I am using a thicker thread, then I will jump up to either the 8012s or the 9014s. Here on the website we carry both a package of 7511s, a package of 9014s, or a mixed package of 7511 9014s. Needles are a very disposable commodity, and people forget that when they are doing projects. So if you have done an entire project, we're talking piecing and quilting, you probably need to throw that needle out. If you are sewing and you hear it thud, 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 thud every single time the needle is going through the fabric, that is not a good sound. That is not an okay sound. That is the sound of the needle tearing through the fibers of the fabric to make a stitch. So a sharp needle will go amazingly better for you in terms of your finishing. I have people show up for workshops and they have vintage needles in their machines, like the needles that came with their machines. I don't think they have any idea how old they are or how long they've been used. Get rid of that needle. This is not one of those areas that you skimp on. And also, I know that there are some needles that contribute to the skipped stitching. You don't want to use those either. Again, I use the Schmetz quilting needles almost exclusively, unless I'm working on some crazy, home deck project or something with, like a knit or whatever. Okay, so that is the needles question. Next question, let's talk about the motor service. People were curious about this. So I think I've said this before, but it bears repeating. Oh no, I don't have a straw. Oh well. So grease is special. Oil, not special. Oil has an extended shelf life to it. Grease has about a 10-year shelf life to it. So if you got a machine and it has a cute little tube of grease with it, it's cute, but don't use it on the machine. It is definitely past its life. These machines can be as much as 86, 87 years old. And in fact, I think the first anniversary, October 23rd, is when the first one rolled off of the assembly line back in 33. Obviously that grease is not good, and you can't just use any old grease. It has to be the right viscosity grease or melting point grease for these vintage motors. So there are only a few places across the country that carry the right grease. We are one of them on our website, featherweightdoctor.com. I think I sell it for $8. This tube is well worth its money in preserving your motor. When you get a tube of grease from me, you will get some some instruction. Hold on. You get a little card that talks about what I'm about to talk about, and also a couple little straws which are missing, so that's okay because this is my thing, but you have a couple little short straws. I literally buy those straws from the dollar store. I go to the dollar store and I buy the cheapest Q-tips available, and I cut the little fuzzy ends off of it, and those little straws are what I use to clean out the motor ports. So this is how you service your motor. You stick the little straws that are the inside, you know, the center of a cheap Q-tip from the dollar store into the motor ports. And there's a motor port, here I'm going to go to my other camera, here on top, and then here on the front. And so you have two motor ports. You feed the straw into the top of the ports, and what will happen is all the old grease will feed up into the tube. When you purchase grease from me, I will give you a couple of straws, but they're fairly disposable, and now you know how to get them for pretty much nothing. So you can source your own and use them once and throw them out. Once you have emptied, go back to the front facing camera, thanks, honey. We're getting used to some new cameras here, so sorry for the shop talk. Once you have removed the grease from the motors, then you will take your syringe full of the right melting point grease, and you will feed the tip of the syringe down into the port and keep squeezing until the grease works itself back out. You know that that's a topped off motor port. You want to top off both the top and the back motor port, and then once it starts working itself back out, you know that they're full. The other thing that I check when I'm servicing a motor is your carbon brushes. There is a screw. I'm going to show the front facing camera, right, because it's closer. There is a screw right here. This is your upper carbon brush. Be very careful with a screwdriver. It should only be finger tight. So if it's really stuck, be careful because it's plastic and it's fairly fragile, and it will just, you know, snap right off. It's not a big deal if you break your motor cap. I have extra ones you can get, so don't stress about that. But just be really careful with it. And when you go to check, you're going to open the cap, and a little spring is going to pop up. Very, very, very carefully pull on the little spring and look at the motor or the carbon brush. You want to make sure you have at least a quarter of an inch of brush. You'll see that there's a rounded area on it, like a concave rounded area. You need to make sure that however you took, this is very important, people, listen carefully. However you took that carbon brush out, it needs to go back in the exact same way. There is a shaft running right through the motor like this, and that carbon brush sits on your shaft like this. So the concave part should be going like this on your motor. So when you pick it out, when you take it out to check it, to inspect it, you can put it back down the exact same way so it makes good contact with your shaft. There is another one on the bottom, but you can assume that if the top and the bottom are going to be the same width. So again, if you need new carbon brushes, you can call the shop, and I have them available for sale. So that is how you service the motor. All right, let's talk about the last item on my Ask the Doctor tonight, and that's packing for travel. I think that with the country opening up, that people are starting to be able to get off of the ground and go places. I know my daughter Ray and I are going to Arizona in December. I'm so excited. We have our tickets, and I've got my workshop scheduled. I hear they're getting full. So if you're on the fence about taking a class, then you're going to want to jump on that. Oh, here we go. Oh, Fran is on. Fran, I got your zigzag foot off to you today. So it was, I think, 3 days to Indy is what my thing said. Okay. So one of the things you're going to want to make sure you do is to protect when you're shipping. You can go ahead and go to the upper camera here. When you're getting ready to send your machine, this bed extension will make contact with this screw, and it will divot your bed extension cover. So it's important when you're not using the machine and they are up that you have some type of a cover which will pad and protect the bed extension cover from the faceplate, like so. The other thing that is a good thing with your pedal, these are the bed extension covers that we sell here. I think we usually have them available in sparkly purple or red or black, and I think I sell them for $14.95. Super worth your while. But the bag is where your pedal and the cording goes, and this sits right here on your decking, and then this goes up like that. So that's the proper position for the thing, for putting in the case. And then the other thing you need to do when you're traveling is this spool cover needs to come off of your machine and be bubble wrapped separately, so that way it doesn't snap off. This pin is a machined part, and once it starts getting loose and wobbly, it's gonna eventually snap off. I usually just put the screw right back in the hole and bubble wrap this separately, so that way I don't lose the screw. The other thing you're gonna wanna make sure is that your presser foot is down and your bobbin winder is down and making contact with your hand wheel. So those are the other items that you need to make sure you're careful with. So assume that when you are getting on a plane, that even if you are planning on lap carrying your machine, go ahead to the front camera again, sweetie pie. Assume that you are going to have the machine taken away from you. I have traveled all over the country. I never have a problem leaving Seattle, but every time I come in back to Seattle, I have trouble with the TSA agents. So you want to pack the machine like it's going to be taken away from you and put in the hole. If you have a hard box and not the soft bag, you are going to want to make sure you travel with the hard box, because if it gets put in the hole, you want to have that protective box in case available. If your box is stinky or falling apart, we carry aftermarket hard cases on our website. You can pick one up from me or from another dealer. But if you are traveling, I would recommend that in case it gets taken away from you, that you have the hard box available. It also is nice having the soft case because it is lighter weight, but if it gets taken away from you and put in the hole, that would make me nervous about what could happen to your little babies. Linda Wood says, Judy said, struggling to get on the live feed. Judy, are you on now, sweetheart? And then Linda Wood says, I've made a cover for my bed from an old quilt. Very fun. Is everything okay? Okay. All right. Well, that was kind of my my to-do list for today. We are going to have our Quilt As You Go this week. This week's block is called Flagstaff, and it is really easy. You're welcome. After our last couple weeks, I felt like we needed some easy. So we're doing Flagstaff this week, and then the other one, drawing a blank, is another really easy block. So we're just cruising right along. It's going to be Thanksgiving before we know it. Yay! Trick to getting the brush out when the spring is broken off. Okay, so what I use, Kelly, in your case, is those needle nose tweezers. And you can fish them down into the motor, and there's so the carbon brush is square, and then there's like a circular, like, button looking thing on the top of it. All you have to do is feed the tweezers down and grab it, and you should be able to pull it out. That's what I have to do here. I have been known to remove the motor altogether and shake it out also. So yeah, that's a good question actually. Oh good, Judy said finally got on. Debbie Boy says, hey Miss Darlene, looking good. You're looking good too. I was at Debbie, I was at Issaquah today. I saw Mo. Yay! Could you review the setup for the for free motion quilting? Donna Bray. Yes. All right, setup. If I roll through this too fast, Donna, there is a 7-minute video on YouTube with me with my Minnie Mouse machine. Ooh.
Sorry.
It's okay, honey. I think you knocked it. Sorry, Ray just tripped over the camera stand. Yeah, it's okay. Don't worry about it. So let me just go over it real quick. I'm going to flip this around to the upper camera, right? Okay, so setup is lever in the middle, not reverse, not forward. I call it dead horizon, so in the middle, so your feed dogs are just going up and down. They're not feeding forwards and backwards. I use blue painter's tape over your feed dogs, and I have installed my free motion quilting foot. That looks like this. Okay. And then, so some of the common, you can go ahead back to the front camera. Some of the common issues with the free motion setup is sometimes the machine with the presser foot down is just sewing but not stitching. That is an adjustment here on this button right here, which is your presser foot tension. Usually needs to be lowered. Also, your upper tension assembly here will probably need to be tightened several numbers. If your normal machine calibration sits around 3 or 4 for regular stitching, it is not uncommon to have to go 5, 6, or even 7 tight on the top. I think it has to do with the rate of speed that the thread is kind of winging through the tension discs and them having to really kind of pinch down on them. So yes, Donna, if I rolled through that really fast, I would check out that video on YouTube. Okay. Well, that kind of does it for my viewer questions today. Oh, Ray just linked it. She's super good with that. Oh, okay. It was Andy. What would I do without my team, folks? This is a takes a village kind of thing, and I've today been particularly grateful for everything that my husband and my daughter do to make this happen. Honestly, I wouldn't be sitting here in front of you if it wasn't for them, because they made me. No, I'm just kidding, because it was their idea. So anyway, thank you, Andy and Ray, for all you do for me. I appreciate it. Hi, Jennifer Gardner from Alabama. Hello. Uh-oh, how do I? Okay. I think that's everything. Thank you so much. I will be on for the next. Great. I'm glad you're able to jump on. Okay, so Wednesday, pre-show on Instagram only. I go on 4 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. So the pre-show is going to start at 3:50. And then come on Facebook and YouTube at 4. Did I already show you guys this, or did I show it during my pre-show? I can't remember. I finished my little table topper from Friday night Sip and Sew. Isn't it cute? Still have the binding. That's my to-do list this week. And then, what was the other thing I wanted to tell you? Oh, hi, Pam Green. Hi, Grace and Hope, if you guys are listening. So that's Wednesday is Quilt As You Go. Friday is going to be so much fun. So my evil twin sister Denise and I are going to be on the show together. We're going to be sewing. Hi, Linda from Tennessee, and hello, Donna. Thanks for joining us. So Denise and I are going to be on. There's going to be some tomfoolery. We will be in costume, and I'm pretty sure she's going to freak everybody out and try and make you guys think that she is me and I am her. Did I say that right? I think I said that right. But it's going to be our Halloween show. So her and I are going to be sewing and probably laughing and sipping. And I would love for you to join me on Friday. So you just want to grab your Featherweight, a sewing project, your favorite beverage of choice. It doesn't have to be alcoholic, but I usually have a glass of wine. And then we can just have some fun. So thanks for joining me all. I hope everybody has... Oh, hey! Oh, hi, Nancy from Mexico. I have an international visitor. This is very exciting. Oh, very fun. All right, guys. I will see you all on Friday. Thanks for joining me.